La comunidad de voz, canto, expresión se construye con tu voz. Tu opinión es muy valiosa y me encantaría que dejes tus comentarios. ¿Qué temas te gustaría que trate en el próximo episodio? ¿Qué dudas tenés acerca de la voz? O simplemente compartime tu experiencia. Podés visitar mi página web www.magalisanchezalleno.com y suscribirte al newsletter para enterarte de nuevos episodios y recibir recursos exclusivos de exploración vocal y corporal. También vas a encontrar información acerca de clases de canto personalizadas, coaching en neurovoz y sesiones de musicoterapia y psicoterapia vocal. Activa la campanita en Spotify o en YouTube y suscríbete al canal para no perderte nada. Gracias por ser parte de este camino y darle voz a este proyecto. Esta entrevista también está en inglés y va con subtítulos. Es una invitada muy especial. Fue una de mis docentes en la formación en el modelo musicoterapéutico de la musicoterapeuta Diane Austin, el modelo de psicoterapia vocal que terminé recientemente en el Reino Unido. De a poco voy inaugurando esta nueva sección del podcast en la que entrevisto a musicoterapeutas para hablar específicamente del uso de la voz en terapia. Y con Nele tuvimos una conversación muy interesante acerca de su propia historia vocal. Contar nuestra historia de vida a través de nuestro vínculo con la voz es una de las acciones más sanadoras que conozco. Y les propongo que lo hagan, que se lo compartan a alguien o que simplemente la escriban. Nele Fiers completed both her bachelor and master's music therapy as her teacher's degree in Leuven, Belgium. Since then, she has worked in the psychiatric hospital PPC Pittem, providing clinical psychodynamic music therapy for groups and individuals in both adults and adolescent wards. In 2016, she met Dr. Diane Austin during a 3-day introductory Austin vocal psychotherapy course in Mol, also in Belgium. This enriching experience made her apply for the international training program in the UK from 2018 to 2020. After graduating, Nele became an intern in the 2021 and 23 training program, and now she is a trainer and she offers her own Austin vocal psychotherapy training in Belgium. Alongside this, she has her private practice and is an active music and singer. Nele regularly writes and presents to a diverse audience about Austin vocal psychotherapy and music therapy in general, and has been invited as a guest lecturer to several music therapy training programs. As a board member of the Belgian Association for Music Therapy and former core board member of the European Music Therapy Confederation, she advocates for quality music therapy training, recognition, regulation, and visibility of music therapy. Comienza entonces Voz, Canto, Expresión, Podcast, un espacio destinado a la investigación, difusión, promoción y aprendizaje de la voz, el canto y la expresión. Si la voz es tu pasión, este podcast es para vos. Voz, canto, expresión. Hello, Nele Fiers. Welcome to the podcast. I'm really excited to have you here. Thank you.
Hello, Magali. Thank you for having me. I think it's really exciting for music therapists out of Flanders in the little small country of Belgium to be in a podcast at the other side of the world in Argentina. That's unbelievable.
Oh, great that we're gonna have this conversation because I love your work. I haven't already told you, but well, I would like you to tell Argentina and music therapists and Latin America also the way the way you work in Europe and in your own country and things like that. And it's going to be really interesting. Yes, we need to be more communicated. Well, but first I would like to know why you decided to become a music therapist, because I know the story, but I would like you to tell the others.
Thank you. I really like to tell the story over and over again because I was only 15 or 16 years old and I went to an evening where young people gathered together and they showed us a movie clip of war soldiers, but child war soldiers, and that really hit me. It was so hard to see that. And after that clip, I saw a clip of music therapy, and they said we offer music therapy to those children, and it was like really something pushed a button, and I was clear. Okay, I'm going to do this, and that was very extraordinary because it's lots of other layers in my life. I was really insecure, but I was like so clear, so bright. And then I said, okay, I want to do this. And then I told my parents, and they never heard of music therapy, and they said, well, you have time to think. But then they saw I insisted, and I made it an outprint of all the information I could find on the internet back then. And they said, that's serious. And I think 1 year later, they said, when I came back, okay, something's here. And they bought me a secondhand piano because they said, if you want to become a music therapist, you'd better start practicing the piano. And that was it was so beautiful because I already played the accordion and the flugelhorn, but they knew, yeah, you will need a piano. So that was such a good push in that direction. And then I started in Leuven for my 5-year course, and I never doubted that. I just kept going that way, and it turns out it's a very good way for me to walk.
Great. Good for your parents.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but I imagine it wasn't very common, and because I know that lives change and music therapy is more and more known in the world, but many people haven't heard about the work, and they relate it with all kind of different therapies and new age therapies and things like that. And if your daughter came and said, I'm going to be a music therapy, well, maybe you should think seriously.
Yeah, yeah, it changes because now, and especially people who are working in mental health care and with elderly people, know more about music therapy. But as we say, like mostly the man in the street is still very surprised to hear that word. But more and more people can really picture it when I explain it.
Yeah, of course. Good. So you have already been studying music, and why you
Yeah,
choose music?
I don't think that was really my choice because I have an older sister and she went to music school, and my parents said we'd like you to start music school. And the solfège was not the thing I liked the most because I was very insecure there, and it was hard for me to sing there. But then I found out I want to play the accordion, and that really fitted me. So that was just also clear. I'm doing this and I like to do this and I want to do it more.
I remember you in some dinner talking about your solfège, and I was doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah, we all suffered that. And then, well, you're a singer also. So
Yeah.
being shy and became a singer and started working with your voice. How was that journey?
Well, in fact, it's a bit the other way around. I started
Oh.
working with voice and then became a singer, even though I find this really hard to express that I'm a singer because I don't find myself a singer. But as I said, like in the solfège, I was very shy. But then when I studied music therapy, we had solfège on a professional level. And then, yeah, I just tried to bring that out of my throat, which worked, but it doesn't feel like free singing. And what also helped, maybe this is important to say first, is that at the end of my solfège career, we had 4 years as a child. We had to sing for an external jury, and those people were very kind to me. And they said, "Oh, you play the accordion," and I felt so at ease. And then I felt liberated, and I could do a really good exam. So I was surprised myself that they gave me high notes. And now I can see that it was the fact that they made me feel at ease that helped me to sing freely. And in the beginning of my studies as music therapist in second year, I lost my voice. I really forced it way too much, and I felt a really big pain, and I had to be quiet for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It was really scary, and it was such a deep experience, because I could feel how lonely it makes, because you cannot communicate or express. I had a small whiteboard to write things, but I like to jump in quickly, but writing is so slowly, so I hopped behind, and it was terrible. And then I did some I went to speech therapist for a few sessions, and that really helped. And a few years later, then I already worked. Then I went to a workshop with Diane, and I really felt, wow, this is so great. You don't have to be a singer, but really work with your voice. And there something started. Then I went to the vocal psychotherapy full course, and then after that, then I went and searched for a singing teacher, but who is not too classically trained. She had the complete vocal technique.
Yeah,
that really helped me to not sing, but to indeed let the stream of air out and see where it goes. And there I didn't have to force myself to high soprano notes, because I'm in a low alto and a bit of a tenor. And it was very good experience to embrace myself in singing that way. That time I also sang in a small band. I was not a lead singer, but like one of the background singers. And then now I'm singing in an a cappella group of 4 people. Never thought I would ever do that. And we are not the most trained voices, but it's so lovely to sing together with them, and to feel how 4 voices can come together so nicely. So
beautiful.
that's in general how it went.
Well, nice journey with your voice. You said a lot of things that I'm interested in, like, well, for example, I heard you in an interview that somebody invited you, where you talk about the importance of the use of the voice in something like that. You just said, maybe in training courses of music therapy, people talk about the importance of the voice and using your voice, and then something stop. Like, well, this is important. Good luck. And then we have, well, all Diane's training course, and now we're going to talk about that. But I imagine that, well, no, I don't imagine. I would like to know, how was your relationship with your voice and training your voice during your music therapy studies at the university, or where you studied. They use their voice. They say to how to use the voice, something like that.
Yeah, so our training course was 5 years, and in the first 2 years we had singing lessons, which was really classically, but yeah, I didn't have a good match with that teacher, and it was in fact back then, sorry if she hears this, but then that I heard my voice with an aria of Bach that I had to sing at 8:30 in the morning without warming up.
What
so
for?
What for? Yeah, absolutely. Because I was very shy at that time. Maybe you cannot imagine, but still, I pulled myself together to say to her, I slept a bit too long. I did not have the time to warm up. Please, can we do some warm up? And she said, no, you just sing. And there, it's broke, literally.
Yeah.
So that, of course, made me insecure. I was relieved, because in the third year we had singing improvisation, and that was different. It was not from a therapist, but from a a singer, and she let us do all kind of strange things. We thought at that moment.
Well, from Bach to
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it was the way of liberating it, but
Yeah.
I really felt I had to work hard to pretend I was liberated, let's say. But when it became a little bit more open, that helped. One of the tasks of our exam was we saw a picture. We could look at it for some minutes, and then we had to improvise the picture, which was like an yeah how to start. But then I think I felt myself strong enough to just go for it. I remember myself singing high, long, and quite powerful sound, and then there was I was okay with that, because there I was not um, they were not picking on this is not the right note, or you
Right.
have to sing like this. It was mine. So that has been clear from that moment on.
Yeah.
What is coming out is just coming out. I could accept that or allow that as I am.
Yes. Well, really interesting, because I'm interested in the use of the voice for music therapists, because sometimes a music therapist feels that they don't have a good voice, they're not singers, they didn't go to singing lessons, and they don't use the voice. And I think as a music therapist, because well, I always thought about this from the moment I start studying, that it is impossible to think the music therapy without the voice. This is just me. But then you work and you realize, and sometimes it's, yeah, you said, well, they are thinking that they need to do it in a right way, in a good way, correct way, something like that. So I think it's important to spread this message that explore your voice. And also you have the part where you need to take care of yourself and your voice, and maybe have some lessons to learn how the instrument work. That I think that is something that complete vocal technique gave to you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what comes to my mind when you are saying this is also I preach that no one needs to be a singer. All the people I meet, and the importance of like a mother just humming or singing for the child. The child is not judging. So, and it's the fact of singing and singing in an embodied way, and that's absolutely also what we need as a music therapist. And that's really the first thing I would say, nothing more. In fact,
Yeah.
if you can stay with yourself and use your voice, that's way more important than the color or the tone or the whatever. Just sing.
Yeah. It would be a nice title. Just sing.
Yes.
Well, and continue with this voice journey. There's at some point you met Diane, and I would like to know how that was. How was the story?
Yeah. I have to thank one of my music therapy friends, Caroline Moers. She said, "Hey guys, Diane Austin is coming to Mol. Are you joining?" And we said with some friends, "Oh yes, okay, we go there." And it was fun to go there together. But I was quite impressed with Diane, because she immediately made us do things. She was not talking about herself, and the openness how she was, because one of the first things we did was babbling like a baby, and she was showing this to us, but with her mouth really wide open and her tongue all over the place, and everyone was like watching. Whoa! And I told her this before, and she found it a very funny story. So I think I can share this here too. That she has a big mouth, so it was really impressive with the lipstick, and
Yeah.
whoa, what's happening there? But it helped us to open up. And I remembered on the last day, she wanted to do vocal holding with someone, and I immediately said, yes, I want to do this. That felt so right and so ready. And other people were like a bit amazed. They said like the sharpness or the quickness of my reaction, but it was just very natural. Like I want to do this. I have to do this. Something like that. And now I'm using words, but that maybe it was more a bodily reaction. That
Yeah,
like, okay,
of course. A go.
let's do this. Yeah. And that day we were talking like, oh, we'd like to hear more about it, but then she said, yeah, I'm only doing this in New York. But we are talking about starting something in the UK, and then we said, please, if it's coming to the UK, let us know. And that's what happened.
Great. I remember when I met her, and the only way was moving for 2 years to New York, and I came back to Argentina. I was like, saying, okay, this never gonna happen.
And here you are.
Yes, yes. Oh, it's so amazing. It's beautiful. Well, I think that we love Diane, and this way is perfect to represent her and all her work and the youth and the way she expressed and she invited with her own voice to she sees you. She knows you're there and invites you with a voice. And well, that was a 3-day course, and then you start the training program.
Yeah.
Intense training program.
Very intense. And it was a bit funny because with 3 of the 4 friends that went to Mol, we started in the UK, and we thought, oh my God, we will be like the 3 Belgians amongst all UK people. But we were the country with most people because there was 2 people from one country and then all other countries. So it was such an international course. I learned a lot also about the cultural differences in music therapy, and also I thought that the way we were trained was like common everywhere, which is not the case. But really something started to shift in both my personal and professional life there. I was aware that something was going on at that time, but I could not figure it out what it was exactly, and it's still hard to really pinpoint it. But one of the important things was indeed what you said, that in the work we do, that I really felt seen and heard, and there was something that I'm not so used to because I tended to hold back and hold in and being afraid of being too much. And she invited me to be more. And I thought, oh my God, what's happening here? But it worked. And I had really vivid dreams during those weeks, and I started to write them down. But I kept on journaling throughout those 2 years, so I have notebooks full of dreams. I cannot start to reread them because then all images are popping up again. But it shows what a powerful way this is to work, because it's not just a theory that brings up all the dreams. It's the fact that we are just diving into the material, that we are doing the body work, that we are doing breathing, not just explaining, but we are going into it. We do our own personal work. We watch others do their work, so we are resonating with them. Also in the psychodrama part, in the first week I was picked a lot of times for a lot of different roles, so also that opened everything up. And I'm also someone who's really eager to learn, which made me be extra open and let it come in, and then I have time to digest. And it made so much sense, because I also felt that already after the first week, some elements were unconsciously implemented in my work here as a therapist. Also, both for the clients I work with, but also for myself, to be more present in a way, by taking the time at the beginning of the session to just breathe, or to ask to people, are you comfortable on the chair, or do you need something? What do you need to arrive here? And it's so simple, but if you take the time, it really works, and it's really rewarding to invite someone to be fully present, or as fully as possible. And also to take it seriously when someone is not fully present. And then ask, what's happening here? Because working with the voice, it's challenging, and for some people, singing helps to arrive. I realize that for some people that sing, and then I see them,
they're there,
come here. But for some people, it's so frightening that they go a bit away. So that's, especially in groups, it's really hard to find the middle. And sometimes I explain, like, okay, I will do this now with you and people who feel ready. But if you don't feel ready, please find yourself a position where you can listen, or where you can observe and be without having to leave, let's say. And then we work with that a bit later, and explain what we do. That's also something that what Diane does. She explains what she does. And it's helpful because as a therapist, we are trained, and we know why we do something, or where we go, or where it might go. But for someone who's really new, it's just so abstract. But maybe I'm now talking too much about other things than purely the voice. But
no, we're talking about everything, and it's good that you're saying this, because she said something about kind of psycho-ed, like psychoeducation, where this is the moment that you explain the client, the patient, what you're doing. And that was surprising for me also, and I said yes, because that makes an environment of feeling more secure, feel more there somebody's taking care of you and they're explaining something. It's a different way of saying, I'm the therapist, you're the patient, you're there, I know you are there, just wait for me to to do my thing.
Yeah, and it can be really reassuring when you explain something. Sometimes people think, "Oh, I'm not the only one who's have this. I'm not so strange, or someone can explain this." So that's already started after the first week I got there, and then we had the second week, and the third week, and the fourth week, and it just kept going. And one thing is also that I learned is how you can enter an altered state just by the piano accompaniment and the singing. It was a really deep experience to do the pre-associative singing. I went way back in my life, and it was very special to be, for a part, very present that day, that time, that place in the UK, but feeling that my body went somewhere else. So I was at, it was reassuring, because I knew I'm here, but I'm also going somewhere that I could not remember, or that I could not touch, or really enter. It was really entering that stage of my life. And it really helps me and it reassures me to use that power, because sometimes people think in therapy, we need something like very micro doses of drugs to go somewhere, but we can do it with music. But the first thing we need to make sure is that someone feels at ease. someone trusts you, there is a good therapeutic relationship. And yes, it takes time, but it's so worth it. So that's my plea for the whole world. Please, let's give people time to go in therapy, to get to know you. And for the therapist, that's another thing I learned, to really ground, and from that place, knowing that you can hold really a lot of things, and that you don't have to be afraid to go somewhere deep. Of course, knowing who is sitting next to me, who am I working with, how is our bond. But if that's safe, there's really a very wide world we can reach, where you cannot go just by talking. Of course, we need words, but if you have pre-verbal wounds, you can talk about it your whole life, but something will not change. And if you can, with movement, or that we are talking about the voice and music, but especially the voice, it's easier to go there. And why do I say especially the voice? Because it is embodied. It is in our body. So we cannot hide after the color of the piano or the strike of the guitar. It's resonating in ourselves.
Yes, because that's where the experience are, in our body. So yeah. Yeah, it's just allow the body to express. And I know this is a very difficult question. I know, take it or leave it, or saying no, pass. But during the training course, we learn about different techniques, and maybe you would like to explain shortly these techniques and the things that we do, and maybe how it was for you, how was the, which one do you like more, for example?
Yeah. So I think you're talking about vocal holding and pre-associative singing. Yeah. So those are two of the techniques that Diane explored and put into the world in this way. And both start with a piano accompaniment of existing of only two chords.
Mm-hmm.
And why only two chords? Because this helps to calm down or ease down the thinking brain. It's a kind of a lullaby. It's kind of rocking. It's kind of altered state. And there, the client chooses this accompaniment. So he or she can, or they can say what they want: faster, slower, harder, more yellow, more rain, whatever, and search. And when this is okay, or when the client feels resonance with those chords, we start to breathe together, and then we start making sounds with long sounds, no words. And the moment the client starts, the therapist also starts. So sometimes we sing in unison or harmony, and we let this evolve, and it goes where it goes. And it's for a lot of people a very motherly experience, but then a safe motherly experience. It can last very shortly. It can last several minutes, or sometimes half an hour if it's really long. And then afterwards we talk about it, because a lot of people do have bodily sensations when we are doing this, or images. So this is like a way to open a world, but it's also a way to connect with people and to let them play with connection and see that it can be safe to be in a connection with someone else without being left behind or without being attacked. So the attunement there is really, really important. And the other technique, I know you can talk for hours about it.
Yeah, of course. No.
It's short. So we also have the pre-associative singing, and the start is the same with the chord, but there we can use words. And the therapists act a bit like in psychodrama, like a double. So when the client is singing, I am hungry, the therapist can double with I am hungry. So the therapist will not say you are hungry. No, you sing as like one person, and a story can evolve. And when it gets stuck, or when the therapist has a suggestion, they can suggest this in the music, sing this to the client. I want some oranges, and then if it fits, the client say, I want some oranges, and or if they don't like it, I hate oranges, and like this, it's a story evolves.
Good.
And for some people, this is safer because some people fear the merging that can happen when you're singing very closely together without words. So some people need the structure of the words to hold on to. Others feel that, words are like so literal that it is too much for me, and they prefer vocal holding. Or it can go from one thing to the other thing during the therapeutical process.
Good.
But it takes time to go to that stage because it needs a safe therapeutical relationship. It's a kind of a bond with the voice and the security of trying to let your voice ring.
Of course.
Which is already a big step for a lot of people.
Yes, and then there's the use of the piano that I know that this discussion came all the time. Why can't we use the guitar? And I heard you saying that you were amazed about the reason, one of the reasons to use a piano. It was because the volume that the two voices could get, sometimes it could be so overwhelmed that the guitar is not maybe
Absolutely.
get there.
Absolutely. It's a bit of cliche to say sometimes 1 + 1 is not 2, but 1 + 1 is 3. But sometimes it's really that the two voices fill the whole room, and then the piano has the soft power to just be there. With the guitar, you really need like kind of it's a hard word, but like an aggressive act to play that loudly, to strum that loudly. And I really don't feel enough holding
Support,
in
yeah.
the guitar. Yeah. And one other thing is also that you are with the piano, you sit next to each other without something in between, and with the guitar there's a small wall.
Yes, I understand. Yes. And well, this is one-on-one work, and I know that you make some, I don't know, changes, or you adjust this work for working with groups. You want to talk about something like that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that because the hospital where I work, they allowed me to do this training. I'm so grateful for that. But then of course, they expect some kind of return, and not only an individual clients. So in general, I do vocal psychotherapy interventions in the groups that I work with naturally, but I also have one group that runs for 5 weeks, and people can restart sometimes if they like. And it's 10 sessions in 5 weeks with a maximum of 6 people. And we start with getting to know each other. Also, they're setting bonding. That's and hearing why people are coming to this session, and most of the time it is because they don't speak up for themselves in what kind of way. And then we start to do some kinds of small songs singing together, repetitive songs, songs where you can change words to make them more personal, but also vocal warm-ups, breathing exercises, but also the exercises like a sound of movement, a ball of sound, throwing this, and it takes time to do this, but also to digest this, because it's really out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I don't have a really specific plan to do. I know what I can do, but every time I check in every session with the group for their leftovers of the previous session to see if we can proceed or if we have to pace down a little bit. And with some groups, we reach the stage that we can do vocal holding, with the others witnessing. With others, we reach the stage that someone can choose the chords, but that we improvise together.
Okay.
Or that one time this was really powerful. I was thinking in the direction of pre-associative singing. So I got the piano there, and then I asked for them all to think about one word or one sentence they really want to say for a long time, but they don't do it, or they don't dare, or no one listens, and they could just throw that there while the piano was playing, and then people could double them, or they could try and taste the words of the others, because one was really swearing and cursing, and someone else, oh, I want to do that too. So they just got bits and bytes from each other. So it's really looking for in between movements with groups, and what works for one group doesn't work for the other one. So also here the attunement is really important.
I love hearing you, and I love to see you work. I think they're beautiful music therapy, and I want to say it. Yeah.
You're welcome to come over.
Well, then you finished your training course, and you decided to continue. And how is that you could still be in a training course, because now I'm doing the training course and you're there?
Yeah, I was amazed, because it didn't feel that I decided to proceed, because I got invited to proceed. And in the first place, it was like, oh, I'm just there to support the students a little bit, and then new training came. And then they say, okay, we'd like to, or do you want to become a trainer in training? Like, okay, doing the work really, whoa, this is getting real. But I thought, okay, I'm learning, let's go for it. But doing this, I realized that my view of this is not the same as the view of the people who are experiencing this, because I think I'm just learning. And then you as students told me literally, okay, but you're one of my teachers. And
Yeah,
I said,
you are.
yeah, that's a fact, but still it's hard to get this in my head. But I feel really, really honored to have the opportunity to learn more, and to be at the side of Diane and Tina, and now we have Sarah on board. But also to if all goes well, to continue with this beautiful work, and to spread this technique to the world, because I really do think music therapists and thus clients will get better from this. And Diane was so brave. I cannot imagine how brave you have to be to figure out something that works in your therapy, and then to tell the world,
Yeah.
to write a book about it, to just strongly believe in a grounded way, okay, this is important, this works, let's just learn this to the world. So it would be a disaster if it just stays with the book. So I really feel honored to carry this on in whatever way it will be. So even when I'm expressing this now, I feel like a kind of stress, but also a kind of excitement.
Yeah.
Because it's going on, and I can do this because it feels right for me. I have a lot of characteristics that are better or not so good. But one of the things is that I cannot fool myself. Things like this. So when it feels right, I'm going for it. If I would feel that this does not fit me or something's wrong, I would not be able to put all that energy there. So this is really, it's a bit the same like the first time when I heard about music therapy. This is a button, and vocal psychotherapy is a button very close to that.
Well, I feel so related to that because when during my training course in the university, when I was studying music therapy, just at the end, I heard about Diane's work, and I was kind of disappointed with the training that I have had, and I almost didn't believe in music therapy. And when I met her work, and I said, "This is it. This is it." So, well, I did my final paper about her work. I traveled, I met her. I just have some sessions. And when all this happened about, well, you need to come here to New York, and I said, well, it's not going to happen. And I said, well, music therapy ends here for me because this is what I want. I have this, yeah, I knew it. And then when I have the opportunity to start this long distance training course, I said, of course, everything is just organized again. And it's common Diane's words when she said, no, this is like this. There are two chords, and this is a technique, and this, we do it like this. It's just like that. And she's so sweet in the way she explained, but so convinced and so strong, defending the way the works it has to be, that yes, that makes it so powerful and right and serious. I would say I'm gonna use this word, serious, because sometimes with music therapy everything comes so messy, and everything could be therapeutic, and we sometimes say what we're doing here, this is just everybody could listen to music and feel better, what like, and this is a really clear framework, and that allows you to I don't know people and be there for them and know what you're doing. Yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah, so beautiful to see your passion when you're talking about it.
It's a dream come true.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, and now that you're well, this trainer in training, uh, you have supervision after the sessions that you have during the week.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
And for example, what if you could tell something, not talking about someone special, what have you learned from these experiences in those supervision sessions?
Yeah, I think it's two layers. One is about the technique. What could I have done, sang, said differently, played differently? Where was it good? Where did I mess up? And everything in between. But then also, and we didn't talk about this yet, about the transference, because it's very clear that transference and countertransference can emerge really quickly when you're singing together, and to learn more about, okay, and the more you work, the more you can learn, okay, is it typical for me to react like this or not? Or, well, sometimes I was surprised about something that a team that came up that hit me or that made me pull back. And that was really interesting. And this is again and again material to work on in my own therapy. And it's good to have those extra eyes to watch me. That's also like, whoa, wonderful experience that it's live supervision. So she sees me working, and Tina and Sarah, and we can talk together about this. So I'm learning about technique, but also about my reaction pattern.
Of course. And it's so important to have your own therapy, your own space. Sometimes we don't talk about this as music therapists because, I don't know, psychologists know that they go to therapy, but also as a music therapy.
I think especially the deeper the work you do, the more you need ongoing therapy. It's healthy for both you and the clients you're working.
Yes. We said something about you can go with somebody to a place that you haven't been there. So if you want to go deep, you have to go deep with yourself.
Yeah. And I'd like to clarify that it doesn't mean that you need to have suffered everything in the whole world, but that you have worked through a very wide range of parts of your personality. Also the hidden parts, but also the very light and golden parts. So it's both the gold and the shadow we need to work on.
Beautiful. Oh, there's so much that I want to talk about, but time is...
You have to choose. We can talk more, but sorry, the podcast listener will not hear everything. Sorry.
Okay. They do whatever they want. And when you came back to your country and you start talking about this work with maybe other music therapists, and also, let me say this good, you're a member, a board member of Music Therapy Association. I'm doing it right? Saying it right? So you share the work, and what did they say? They like it, they agree, they don't, they're interested.
Yeah, they're interested and curious, and we already had some workshops and lectures about vocal psychotherapy the last years. Not all done by me because last training also some Belgian people graduated. So every time more Belgians are doing it, which is nice. But yes, they are listening, and we hear it's a shared feeling, like, okay, people know the voice is very powerful, but how to start? This is nice. I don't use the channel of the association really to promote the course at, like this, but I do speak about what is helpful, because people want to learn more, and those who are interested can learn more, and those who don't, they just don't go to the workshop.
Right. Yes. Yes. It's important to say this is happening, because maybe somebody doesn't know that exists. It's good. And how do you see, if you have thought about this, Diane's work in the whole music therapy community? Because now it is a model that it has a recognition as a model.
Yeah, the model is there, and I think because it's spreading now, that other training programs are also taking it like more serious, because they see how many people are interested,
right?
And that it's not just like a 2-hour course, but it's a 2-year course. So I think it's really finding its place amongst others, and vocal psychotherapy is very good in working with trauma and developmental trauma, but of course we need other models too to work with a wide variety of clients. But it's good that it's spreading, and when some people were in the beginning maybe a bit reluctant, I only know from stories about stories, but still there was like people, what is that only person doing? They cannot say this anymore, because now it's becoming like kind of very international community.
Yes. And maybe I'm totally wrong, but I think that there's something about uh, the use of the voice that maybe, I don't know, start this feeling of, let me see, well, just the voice, I don't know, just I would like to take all the instruments and put them there and people play and everything, making so much noise. And then
Yeah,
you said, no, 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 just live it. Just the
yeah,
voice, just your breathing, just be there, be present. And I think that it's something, that's why it's so deep that you can't hide.
yeah, yeah. And I can see that with some people there is resistance, and some people are really afraid, and they say, "Please don't let me do this."
Mm,
And I totally respect this. I really, because then those people know what they want, what they can do, and that's the best thing. The honesty, most honest thing that you can do as a therapist, to do the thing that fits you,
yeah.
because it would be a mistake to force everyone to work only with the voice.
Hmm.
It it would not be a good thing, because everyone needs the freedom to see. Like I had the freedom to choose. I want to be a music therapist. I want to do vocal psychotherapy. Everyone needs to have that space. I wish everyone has that space and that
Mm,
opportunity also to evolve the way that is right at that moment, and it can evolve during your lifetime. I think I would not have started vocal psychotherapy just after my graduation, but
okay.
it came at a certain point, and then okay, this is now for me. This orange I will take, and this one I will leave.
You're wise. You're right.
Sometimes,
Good. Well, maybe we in the future we're gonna meet again to talk about how was your experience being, I don't know, in three training courses, and you could talk
sometimes.
about more, but now we need to come to an end. And in this podcast there is a section called El aire no va la panza.
Yeah, I'm thrown back to an experience where someone was saying it's important, and you have to breathe so deep that you belly moves. So what did I do? I forced my belly to stick out, which was working, and then I did not have enough power to use air. But for that person, it was really clear if your belly like this going. But I learned everything is so personal. Also, how
Mm,
people learn, how people perceive. Some people are helped with that image. Some people need a very technical story. Some people need just the image of a balloon or whatever. So it's so important that you, as a therapist, as a teacher, but also as a human, you realize that the way how you see it is really not the way how other people see it. So
mm,
you be clear and check what am I communicating? Is this really clear for you or not? And to really find a way to meet in the middle. And yeah, I feel that I sigh when I say this, because meeting in
mm.
the middle is so beautiful, because then one person approaches and the other one also approaches, and it can be a bit more to the left or to the right or up or down. But if you're moving with two people together, it's more likely that you meet than when someone is saying like this and the other one needs to juggle around or just fit in. It's I don't find the word.
No,
It's
but the image is
it feels like
beautiful.
it feels like a dance. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. And well, maybe this is a strange question, but also in the training course, we experienced the significant song. And I would like to know if when you were when you were a singing student, when you were taking lessons, uh, if you have this kind of relation with songs that maybe you were singing and you find songs that represent you, and I don't know, you could have the opportunity to express your feelings, or you felt that they were separated, like, well, now I'm singing, I'm doing it right, or I'm singing, I can express myself, because it sometimes happen, and for many people, I heard that during the training they change the way they sing in they're singing in their lessons.
Yeah, I think a big shift was already when I had a complete vocal technique to be more with the song and to find a way to relate to the music too. Sometimes I was trying too hard to do what the composer wanted, let's say, but to find a relationship with that song. And now I think I don't think as much, but I try to be enough with myself. And sometimes it's hard to know when I'm just because I'm playing piano and singing. Sometimes I record myself, and then it's quite easy to hear when I was there or when I was not so much there. But so it's more about being present while I'm singing.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nele. Thank you so much. So beautiful to hear you talking and explaining and knowing your whole story and your relationship with music therapy. And I believe in you and you spreading the word and Diane's work also.
Oh, that's really beautiful to hear. But thank you for inviting me. I second you that I could just keep on talking with you like for a whole day. But for now, we have to end. But thanks for asking also those questions to me, because they make me again connect with all those feelings and sensations and moments in my life. So thank you, Magali.
Y así termina la charla que tuvimos con Nele Fiers. En la descripción del podcast voy a dejar los links para que puedan contactarla y conocer más acerca de todo su trabajo en relación a la musicoterapia y a la psicoterapia vocal. Soy Magalí Sánchez Alleno y me despido hasta el próximo episodio.